Hey, it's Jamie with Thoughtful Horsemanship. We are back with Jameson, and this is his first ride outside out in the arena. It is not fenced in, as you can see. You can see the horses in the very far background. They're out there grazing, and he lives out there with them. So it'll be really interesting to kind of see what he decides to do. But I'm still doing groundwork, still just kind of gypped him around, make sure he could pay attention, switch directions. He's kind of sluggish today, but that's fine. He's not like, overly interested in them. You can see he kind of looks over there a little bit, but that's about it. He's a little stiffer to the right, and so I'm going to just keep driving him a little bit, get him lighter on the end of that rein, ask him to stop. As you can tell by my stopping, I tilt my head towards their hindquarters. That is one of the cues that I use on the ground when I ask a horse to lunge, to ask him to stop. And so he's really paying attention over there, and that's fine. I just gave him a second to kind of think about it, and he was pretty heavy there, flexing. So I'm just going to wait for a second and ask again. He gets heavy again. Let's see how he is on the left. He was a lot better, but he was also turning to look towards them as well. I'll ask again, just kind of see what he's got for me. He gave quite a bit there. So as you can see, it's pretty windy out. He's just got to kind of get used to it. And sometimes I do go out of focus on this in this video, but I'll come right back. If he looks over somewhere, that's fine. I'm not gonna not let him, but then I want him to come back to me. And same thing, I always get on and I sit there, let him sit and think about what we're doing for a second before I ask him to do anything. He kind of looks around, and that's fine. He doesn't really have any interest to like take off or do anything out here. I'm just asking him to flex. He got a little stiff, but that's okay. He just worked through it. I'll ask again. And once they get light, and once they do what I ask them, you release right away. You don't hang on them. You can kind of see the reins are draped a little bit there, so that he's got free range. Like if he really wanted to take off, he could go. There, I asked him again. He was a lot lighter that time. This time I'll ask him to go forward a little bit, see what he does, see where he takes me. And I'm not steering him. I'm just kind of, he'll go where he wants to go. And there I picked up and asked him to do just one rein stop. And I'm going to let him sit just for a second. So it's just basically going back to basics, making sure that he can still understand everything that he was taught from the beginning in a new environment again. And so there he looked away. He looked out at the other horses. Then I'll ask him to go again. And other than him, I did pick up a couple times, just told him where to steer, and then I bent him to a stop. And I'll wait again, let him just kind of sit there. This colt comes up for a second, and I kind of chase him away a little bit. And then he leaves. Then I asked him to stop. And then I'll ask him to go again. We'll do some more. But we're going to keep it real simple. And there was the first time I picked up on both reins at once. And I just asked him to kind of tuck and take a baby step back. Up until this time, I've not picked up on both reins. There, I'm just flexing him. And I'm going to ask him to just move his hindquarters. You can see my right leg is bumping. He says, well, I don't know what to do. But I'm just going to wait. And he moved his hindquarters, and I'm going to release everything. I'll let him sit and think about that for a second. And I'll just flex him to the right slightly. I don't want him to think every time I pick up on that right rein that he's got to move. And to the left. I'll bump with just my left leg. He moved, so I'm going to release everything. I'm going to sit there and let him think about that for a second. I'll pick up and just flex him that time. Same thing. I don't want him to think every time I pick up that it means move his feet. So I'll let him think, flex. And so for the first day, yeah, we didn't do it much. We walked around a little bit, but that's all he needed for today.